What if a mineral you barely think about is quietly shaping your memory, processing speed, and the way your brain ages, and the difference comes down to how much you eat and what you pair it with?
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster, and today we're looking at dietary copper, how much supports sharper thinking when it backfires, and practical steps you can use to protect long-term cognition.
I'm Alara Sky, and we'll keep this focused and direct. Copper is a high-stakes nutrient. Too little, and you struggle with energy production and antioxidant protection. Too much in the wrong context, and it fuels oxidative damage. The goal is a balanced intake that supports the enzymes your brain relies on without tipping into harm.
Let's start with what daily intake looks like in real life. An analysis of 2,420 adults over 60 found that those consuming roughly 1.2 to 1.6 milligrams of copper per day performed better on memory, language, and processing speed tests. The gains followed a threshold pattern. Benefits rose up to that range and then leveled off. Notably, stroke survivors in the higher intake group showed the strongest cognitive advantage.
Why would copper matter so much after a neurologic insult? Copper activates superoxide dismutase, a frontline enzyme that neutralizes reactive oxygen species. It also influences microglia behavior, helping shift these brain immune cells from an inflammatory M1 posture toward a healing M2 state. That transition lowers damaging signals and supports recovery when your brain is under stress.
We also have data linking copper inside your brain to how quickly you decline. In a study following 657 older adults for nearly 7 years until autopsy, higher copper concentrations in regions such as the inferior, temporal, and midfrontal cortex were associated with slower loss of global cognition, working memory, semantic memory, and perceptual speed. Participants with the most brain copper had substantially lower odds of advanced Alzheimer's-type pathology, and their annual decline was measurably slower.
Those findings make sense mechanistically. Copper is integral to enzymes that govern energy metabolism, antioxidant defense, gene regulation, and neurotransmitter synthesis. When your intake drops too low, neuron protection weakens, iron handling falters, and vulnerability to oxidative injury increases, exactly the pattern that accelerates cognitive aging.
There is an important caveat. In a 20-year analysis of 10,269 middle-aged adults, copper intake wasn't a problem until it intersected with a high-fat diet. In that high-fat context, more copper correlated with significantly faster cognitive decline, with verbal memory, word recall, and fluency taking the biggest hit. The researchers emphasized that most copper came from food, not supplements, underscoring how overall dietary patterns determine risk.
The proposed mechanism centers on oxidation. Excess copper can accelerate the oxidation of fats and cholesterol, generating aldehydes that damage neurons and promote beta-amyloid buildup. A related cohort showed the same pattern. People combining higher copper with saturated and trans fat intake experienced the steepest decline, akin to aging nearly 2 decades faster, while those with higher copper but lower fat intake did not show this effect.
So how do you keep copper in the helpful zone? Begin by adding nutrient-dense sources that deliver copper in a form your body can use. Grass-fed beef, liver, shellfish, shiitake, mushrooms, dark chocolate, and bee pollen are all strong options. Retinol from organ meats supports copper handling inside your cells, helping the mineral reach the enzymes that need it.
Next, adjust your macronutrient pattern. Aim for less fat and more easily digested carbohydrates, with total fat at roughly 30% to 40% of daily calories. Favor whole fruit, cooked root vegetables, and white rice, with small amounts of well-tolerated whole grains if they suit you. For fats, choose grass-fed butter, ghee, and tallow, while minimizing vegetable oils high in linoleic acid.
If you suspect your intake has been low, or you're seeing signs consistent with deficiency, such as brain fog or unusual fatigue, consider copper bisglycinate. A daily dose in the range of 3 to 4 milligrams is described as a strategic option because it's well absorbed and gentle. Don't supplement blindly. Test, track, and adjust so you can verify that you're correcting a shortfall rather than overshooting.
Keep the copper-iron relationship in view. Copper deficiency combined with iron overload is a particularly risky mix for brain health and energy production. Many people do need higher copper intake to support proper iron metabolism, and bringing copper back to adequacy can help normalize how you transport and use iron.
If you're asking what copper actually does for your brain, the answer is straightforward. It supports electrical signaling, energy generation, and antioxidant defense through enzymes such as superoxide dismutase. Can eating more copper-rich foods improve memory? Observational data in older adults found that intakes around 1.2 to 1.6 milligrams per day aligned with better memory and processing speed, with pronounced benefits after stroke. Is too much dangerous? It can be, especially alongside a high-fat diet, where higher copper intake was linked to faster decline. Food-based sources remain your foundation, and supplementation is a targeted tool when deficiency is likely.
Pulling this together, you're aiming for enough copper to power neuronal defenses and metabolism, paired with a diet that doesn't set the stage for fat oxidation and inflammatory damage. That balance gives you the best chance at maintaining memory, language skills, and processing speed as you age.
Here's your challenge. Today, list your common copper sources and identify any reliance on vegetable oils. This week, add one copper-rich whole food to your routine, minimize high linoleic vegetable oils, and set your fat intake in the 30% to 40% range while favoring fruit, cooked roots, and white rice. If you suspect deficiency, arrange testing and discuss whether copper bisglycinate at 3 to 4 milligrams makes sense for you. Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.